will do even, and we're looking forward to working with the Bloc and every other party in this House.
St. Paul.
Mr. Speaker, when I say ArriveCan, what words come to mind? Unreliable, frustrating, ageist, broken. These are just some, yes, painful. These are just some of the words constituents of mine have used, and the app is so difficult that some seniors are having to cancel trips to funerals, weddings, birth of grandchildren. They're facing massive fines, mandatory quarantine, all because of a government app, Mr. Speaker. And after 2 long years, seniors in this country deserve a lot better from this government, and it's time to end the mandatory use of the loathsome ArriveCan app and allow Canadians to travel freely once again. What are the Liberals waiting for, Mr. Speaker?
Great question. The Honourable Minister of Public Security.
I appreciate my colleagues' concerns with regards to ArriveCan, and of course we work with the CBSA to ensure that as an application it is smooth, it is efficient, but there are also other words to attribute to ArriveCan, which is that it's an important tool to protect Canadians, Mr. Speaker, and we will continue to ensure that we work with my honourable colleague, along with all other communities, to ensure that trade and travel continue to increase, make sure our economy is going again. That's what our goal is, and that's what we will continue to do. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for South Shore, St. Margaret's.
Mr. Speaker, Gail and John from the South Shore of Nova Scotia were refused entry into Canada from their return from Florida in spite of having vaccine proof and their passports. These Canadians were denied entry because they had not filled out the No ArriveCan app. Like many Canadians, they do not have smartphones. Canadians are being hoisted on this government's phone petard. Why is this government not allowing Canadians to come home if they don't have a smartphone?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, as I said to my honourable colleague last week during this question period, we're prepared to work with him and other members of the chamber to ensure that ArriveCan is smooth, is efficient. We're open to receiving feedback. We're not only working with members opposite, we're working with members on this side of the House, Mr. Speaker. The reason we introduced the app was to protect Canadians. And of course, now that trade and travel are going again, we'll see more individuals come at the border and that their experience is consistent with best practices of the CBSA. Thank you very much.
L'honorable député de Louis Salara.
Monsieur le Président, si le gouvernement...
Mr. Speaker, if the government could just for once be aware of the problems that it needs to deal with, problems for all Canadians, not just those who have smartphones, but all Canadians. ArriveCan causes problems. There are problems to entry for people who answered correctly, but also those who don't have access to an iPhone. Could the government please take into account that not everyone, as the member for Louis-Hébert, who has access to a computer all the time, could the government please develop a program or project that works for all Canadians? The Honourable Minister. As I've already said many times now, we are working with border services to reinforce access at the border to address all the challenges with this program. Since the beginning of the pandemic, our government has emphasized the health and safety of Canadians by relying on most recent scientific data. Since the beginning of the pandemic, border measures have remained adaptable and guided by science and prudence.
Member for London West.